The world doesn't need to know everything about you to celebrate who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, in a world obsessed with oversharing, let me tell you something from experience. Privacy is power. We've built a culture where visibility is mistaken for value, but the truth is, what you protect, you preserve. What you guard grows. A private life isn't a boring life. It's a strong one. It's not about hiding. It's about holding something sacred. Privacy is power, is more than a catchy phrase, it's a way of life. In a time when every thought, emotion, and moment is broadcast for likes and validation, choosing to keep aspects of your life private is a radical act of strength. When you don't constantly seek external approval, you take control of your own happiness. You learn to define yourself by your own values, not by how others perceive you. Keeping your personal matters private doesn't mean you're hiding, it means you're protecting. It's the same reason we don't leave valuable treasures out in the open. Some things are too precious to be exposed. Relationships, goals, struggles, and dreams often thrive when nurtured in quiet. Constant exposure invites unnecessary opinions, criticism, and noise that can derail progress or poison joy. When you live privately, you live more intentionally. You're free from the pressure of performance. You're not worried about curating a perfect image or seeking validation from strangers. You start to live for yourself, not for an audience. Privacy allows you to pause, reflect, and evolve without interference. It keeps your mind clear and your focus sharp. It gives you the space to grow authentically, make mistakes in peace, and enjoy victories without external pressure. And here's the beautiful part. The more you protect your energy, your thoughts, your heart, the stronger you become. Privacy becomes your shield and your strength. You're not running from the world, you're choosing when and how to let it in. In protecting your private life, you reclaim control. You hold the pen to your own story, and you decide what gets published and what remains sacred. And that is power, pure and simple. In today's world, where every moment can be captured, edited, and shared in seconds, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that every part of life needs to be posted. But the truth is, not everything is content, nor should it be. Some experiences are meant to be lived, not broadcast. Some moments are too real, too intimate, or too sacred to be reduced to a caption or a highlight reel. When we start seeing every interaction, every meal, every emotion as potential content, we begin to blur the line between living and performing. We start curating our lives instead of experiencing them. Real joy, pain, love, and growth happen in the unscripted, unfiltered moments that rarely make it to the screen. By choosing not to share everything, we give ourselves the chance to be present. We allow memories to form without the interference of a camera lens or the pressure to be on. We connect more deeply with ourselves and the people around us. We create space for authenticity, vulnerability, and peace, things that don't always fit in a viral format. Life doesn't need an audience to be meaningful. The dinner with a loved one, the quiet walk after a long day, the tears you cry in solitude, or the idea you scribble in a notebook, these things are valid and powerful, even if no one else sees them. Not everything has to be turned into a story for others. Some stories are just for you. Holding parts of your life back from the spotlight is not secrecy, it's self-respect. It's a declaration that your experiences are valuable, whether they get likes or not. It's a way of saying, I don't need the world to witness everything to know that it matters. Guarding your energy is about recognizing that not everything and everyone deserves access to you. Your time, attention, and emotional well-being are limited resources, and when you give them away too freely, you often end up feeling drained, scattered, and disconnected from yourself. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary for your mental clarity, emotional balance, and long-term peace. We live in a world that constantly demands our focus, from social media notifications to the expectations of others, to the endless cycle of comparison and consumption. Without boundaries, it's easy to lose yourself in the noise. You start saying yes to things that don't align with your values, engaging in conversations that deplete you, or surrounding yourself with people who take more than they give. Over time, this chips away at your inner peace and leaves you feeling burnt out. Guarding your energy means becoming intentional about where and with whom you invest yourself. It's about saying no when something doesn't serve your growth, choosing rest when the world pushes hustle, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift and respect you. It's about creating space for your passions, your healing, your quiet, and your power. You don't have to justify your boundaries. You don't have to explain why certain environments no longer feel right. The simple truth is that your well-being is your responsibility. When you start protecting your energy, you stop living reactively and begin living purposefully. You reclaim the ability to show up fully, not because you're constantly pouring out, but because you've learned when to hold back and when to give. Protect your energy like you would protect anything precious. Because once it's gone, it takes a lot more to recover it than it would have to guard it in the first place. Controlling the narrative means taking ownership of your story before someone else tries to tell it for you. In a world where people form opinions based on fragments, assumptions, and filtered glimpses, it's powerful to be the one who defines your identity, your values, and your truth. You don't owe the world every detail of your life, but what you choose to share and how you share it should come from a place of intention, not pressure. When you allow others to fill in the blanks, they often do so with their biases, their insecurities, or their need to fit you into a box. And once the wrong narrative spreads, it becomes harder to correct than it would have been to shape from the beginning. By being clear about your boundaries and your message, you reclaim your voice. You stop reacting to how others see you and start building how you want to be remembered. This doesn't mean oversharing or putting everything on display. It means being selective, purposeful, and confident in what you reveal. It means understanding that your story is still being written, and not every chapter needs an audience. You choose the highlights, you decide the tone, you determine what matters. Being in control of your narrative is a form of self-respect. It signals to the world that your life isn't open for random edits, critiques, or assumptions. It's yours to create, rewrite, and evolve as you grow. And when you step into that power, you stop being defined by noise and start being known for your truth. Let people wonder, let them speculate. Just make sure that when your story is told, it's told by the one who lived it, not by the ones who watched it from a distance. Choosing authenticity over attention is choosing depth over display. In a time when attention has become a currency, it's easy to fall into the trap of performing rather than living. But true fulfillment doesn't come from applause, it comes from alignment. When you prioritize authenticity, you're not trying to impress anyone, you're simply showing up as who you really are, regardless of who's watching. Attention is temporary, it's fickle, often shallow, and dependent on trends, algorithms, and the approval of people who may not even know you. It can feel good in the moment, the likes, the praise, the validation, but it rarely lasts. And when you chase it constantly, you lose parts of yourself. You start editing your personality, your beliefs, even your choices, to fit what others expect or what gets the most reaction. Authenticity, on the other hand, is sustainable. It's rooted in truth. It may not always be flashy or popular, but it gives you peace, the kind that comes from living in alignment with your values. It allows you to attract people and opportunities that resonate with your real self, not the version you curate for approval. There's incredible freedom in not needing to be liked by everyone. You no longer shape your worth around perception. Instead, you build it on self-awareness, honesty, and integrity. People may or may not notice you when you're authentic, but those who do will connect with the real you, not a version designed to please. At the end of the day, attention fades, but authenticity builds a life you can stand behind. Not just in front of a crowd, but alone in your quietest moments. And that kind of peace, that's worth far more than applause. Protecting your peace means making the conscious decision to prioritize your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being no matter what's happening around you. It's the quiet strength of walking away from chaos, choosing silence over conflict, and letting go of what disrupts your balance. In a world full of noise, distractions, and drama, peace becomes a rare and valuable treasure, and it's up to you to guard it fiercely. Peace isn't passive, it's powerful. It's not just the absence of stress, it's the presence of clarity, intention, and self-respect. You protect it by setting boundaries, by not responding to every provocation, by knowing when to engage and when to let go. Not everyone deserves a reaction, Not every situation needs your energy. Learning to protect your peace is learning that your inner state is more important than winning arguments, proving points, or pleasing people. It also means choosing what you allow into your life, the conversations you entertain, the people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, and even the thoughts you hold on to. When something disturbs your peace consistently, it's a sign that it doesn't belong in your space. Your well-being is not a negotiation, it's a priority. There will always be noise in the world, but peace is something you build from the inside out. It's created through discipline, self-awareness, and the willingness to walk away from anything that costs you your sanity. When you protect your peace, you become more grounded, more focused, and more in tune with your purpose. And in that space, quiet, undisturbed, and whole, you find the strength to become your best self. Not everything deserves access to you. Your peace is sacred. Treat it that way.